Hey there, it's Monique Hom, and welcome back to Getting Real. Right now, we're in the middle of a powerful 20-week series where I'm sharing incredible conversations from the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit. These are interviews with women running seven, eight, and even nine-figure businesses who are redefining what wealth and success looks like. If you're a woman who's ready to build a successful career or business, but you're craving more joy, more purpose, more freedom, then these are for you. Every week, we are sharing stories of from these incredible women, their strategies, their mindset shifts that will help you create your own version of a truly rich life. And today's episode with Nikki Cruise will absolutely move you. Nikki is an international TEDx speaker. She's a best-selling author, a transformational coach who went from being told she'd never walk again to moving and living with unstoppable joy and purpose. Her story will remind you of the power of faith, gratitude, and choosing joy no matter what. And if you are loving this series and you want access to all 20 of these incredible interviews, plus over $4,000 worth of VIP gifts from our incredible speakers like Nikki, it's not too late. You can grab full access for just $99 at tinyurl.com/VIP seven figures. And now let's dive in. This one is going to fill your heart. Welcome back to the Seven Figure Lifestyle Summit, a space where we're redefining what wealth means, not just in dollars, but in joy, purpose, and power. I'm beyond thrilled to introduce our next guest, Nikki Cruise, an electrifying international TEDx speaker, best-selling author, and transformational coach. Nikki's personal story is not only extraordinary, it is deeply, deeply inspiring. Through her own journey of healing and self-empowerment, she discovered the liberating force of joy and now shares that message with women and other leaders around the world. She's the creator of the JUMP method, which stands for Joyfully Unleashing a More Powerful Purpose. And she's here to help you stop shrinking, start shining, and own your full value, no matter what the world has told you. Nikki, welcome. I'm so honored to have you here.
Well, what an honor and privilege to be here, Monique. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everybody else watching for taking the time out to own their value and shine.
Love that. Yes, thank you all for being here. You are going to get so much out of hearing Nikki. So, Nikki, please share your story, which is so powerful and inspiring. Share a bit about your healing journey and how joy played a role in that transformation.
Well, much as though you see me sitting here all energetic, for 11 years I was in a wheelchair. And I wasn't just in a wheelchair, I was strapped in because I had such bad tremors and shakes and muscle movements that I couldn't feed myself, dress myself, or brush my hair. And let alone use a computer or do any of those fabulous things. And I continually had faith and was a little bit upbeat, more than most people in those circumstances, until one day my doctor said, "You will never walk again." And my world shattered. My dreams were gone, my hopes were gone. Everything I believed I could be went out the window until one day I stopped fighting with God and turned around and said, I will be the best version of myself, whether I'm in a wheelchair or walking. And as soon as I did that, I realized that what I did have to offer the world was a smile.
Mm.
I couldn't do anything else but smile. And that brought joy to so many other people, but it did the same thing to me. And as I pressed into joy, and if any of you have ever found those moments of joy, you find that it leads to gratitude. And the gratitude and joy together begins to change your life. It changed my perspective, it changed my attitude, and it changed my own value in myself. And suddenly I found that things were shifting in me. Needless to say, 3 months later, I got up and walked without realizing it. Yes, I walked without realizing it. And it was a miraculous healing. God absolutely, excuse me, had a hand in it. He was the hand in it. But it's when you choose joy that you bring about a lot of that healing. And God designed our bodies that way. And joy has therefore become my inspiration. It's my everything. It's what I choose to walk in daily, whether it's a good day or a bad day. And that's how it started.
I love that. That resonates so much with me. When we talked before, I don't know if I had told you, but I was on a journey of fun. So I had a daily, I challenged myself to daily fun, and I was going to do a year. My fun anniversary was August 13th, and I said, I'm going to keep doing it. And so I think today is day 377 or something like that. I mean, we're in the, it's been, I've been continuing to have that, and it's that fun or joy, which, like you said, made me feel so deeply grateful. I felt so deeply in love with my life. And it is miraculous. I wasn't, I didn't have the, like walking and healing the way you did, but in a lot of other ways. So I love that. It is so true. It's so powerful. Um, the message of the summit is about creating a seven-figure lifestyle, one that's truly rich in alignment, purpose, and joy. What does that lifestyle mean to you?
Oh, wow. You know, you can have all the money in the world, but that's not what wealth is about. That's not what, to me, living a seven-figure lifestyle is about. It's about living out that purpose of our prosperity. It's about living out with joy that with which we've achieved. And it's not about where the commas are, where the decimal places are, or where the gaps are, or how many figures. But it's about having created that wealth so that you can live with the freedom of time, the freedom of generosity when you have, and I'm a Jesus freak, so when you have what God wants you to have, you can show God off well. You can live that abundant life that He wants you to live. And it gives you the ability to have the peace you want to have in your work because you can choose that time freedom. You can choose where and how to work when you have that freedom. And I get to choose where I can grow and expand personally and in my business because as you develop that wealth and that prosperity, you get to grow in those areas where when you're living in poverty, you don't have those choices. So joy is what makes it happen, but you get the joy that fuels that. And then it comes full circle and you get the joy from that. And what you said there was so powerful that, yeah, you weren't in a wheelchair. So many of us aren't in a wheelchair, but we're strapped into these limiting beliefs. We're strapped into these mindsets that say, I can't be that. So, what is the wheelchair that you get to step out of today? What is holding you back that is perhaps your wheelchair that you get to see beyond? Because, a seven-figure lifestyle is about living out our purpose, living out that purpose of that prosperity so that our success doesn't just bless us, but it blesses those around us. And that's joy.
Yeah, so good. And I love to one thing from your story, because you said you decided you were going to just be the best version of yourself and you were going to do what you can. And at one point, all that, well, not all, it was a big thing, but it was smiling. And what you could do was to gift someone with your beautiful smile. And so I love that the where we need to go to is not such a high bar, right? It's just, but it's a conscious decision. It's getting out of Like you said, that our own limiting beliefs to think we can't. So great. You talk a lot about owning your value. Why do you think so many women, even high achieving ones, struggle with fully claiming their worth?
I think there's so much to that. You know, we grow up in a world of comparison and a world of labels.
Mm.
And we are not what we do. We are not our bank balance. We are born with a value, and that value remains through our whole life. But we so often let the labels of the world stick. The world doesn't stick those labels on us, they put it out there. But we choose to let those labels stick or not. And it's because we spend so much time trying to fit in, particularly as women. There are so many gender roles where it's defined how we should be instead of how we could be. And I think that's huge. So when you wake up and recognize your value, it may just be a smile. Now let's cross the just out because that smile could be everything to you for that day and to somebody else. And when you start comparing yourself to other people, I had a coach who used to say, don't get into comparanoia. You know, don't get into that place where you try and be somebody else. Own your own value because your value is immense and incomparable to anybody else's.
I love that. Tell us more about your jump framework. What does it mean to joyfully unleash a more powerful purpose? And how can we start doing it?
Well, joyfully unleashing your more powerful purpose comes back to your own value and your own identity. When you get to know who you are, you begin to recognize your purpose, not somebody else's purpose for you, not what anybody else dictates. When you know who you are and start to align your faith, your passion, and your purpose, you can step into it and not do it begrudgingly because there's something that the world might want. Do it with power. You jump in and unleash it because the world gets to have what you've got to offer. So you jump in and you more powerfully unleash that purpose so that everybody can feel the positive impact from it. And of course, that makes you jump higher with more energy and more joy.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. You work with leaders in business and life. What's one mindset or strategy shift that helps someone lead with more confidence and joy, even during hard times?
Stop chasing. Stop chasing the hustle. Stop working to check off the boxes that other people have put out there and start anchoring in joy. And to do that, step into gratitude. You can't be miserable and be in gratitude at the same time. Hard times come, and that's a guarantee. Life is messy, life is filled with chaos. So create hope and opportunity strategically. That's my acronym for chaos. Take that chaos and turn it into creating hope and opportunity strategically and stop being tossed around by those circumstances and those events and choose to step forward and have the positive mindset. So that will bring you the joy you want because joy isn't that fluffy feeling everybody thinks it is. Joy is actually a strategy.
Mm. Tell me more about that because I'd love to know how did you, okay, you're in your wheelchair or you're on the bed, tremors, can't walk, might never walk again, might never be able to feed yourself or comb your hair or do any of that again. What specific, how did you find gratitude in that? What did you do specifically?
I think once I was told I would never walk again, and I became so miserable and so angry with God. In that darkness is where everything shifted because I realized I was miserable. I was the one it was costing.
Mhm.
So before that, I had hope, I had faith, I saw a future, I had a vision. But as soon as I listened to what somebody else told me about my life, I lost all of that and I got angry and mad. And in that moment, I decided, I don't want to be like this anymore. What can I do? And it was that smile, and that smile brought the joy. And after a while, I realized, hey, this is cool. This is actually a lot of fun. People like me a lot more because have you ever noticed people don't really like being around somebody who's grumpy? They might put up with you for a bit. So it became something natural that boiled up from inside, and I enjoyed that feeling.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being happy. I enjoyed the positiveness of the joy, positivity of the joy. And it kind of became a strategy for everything because you look, we think that joy is the result of things. Joy is the strength that gets you through things. It's not the confetti at the end, it's the light. It's the strength that gets you to the end.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's the greatest leadership and life strategy and the most underutilized in personal life and business.
Sure.
Choose joy and everything else falls into place.
So good. And you have just the most joyful, wonderful energy. Um, I just love talking with you. If someone watching today feels like they're playing small or they're waiting for permission to shine, what would you say to her? For anyone who's watching and is feeling like, I can't do that, what would you say to her?
The permission's already been given. And if you feel like your joy is lost and gone, I got a secret to tell you it's not. Joy is inside you, it is part of you. It might have been clouded, it might have been dented a little out of shape, but it's time to dust it off. It's time to find it and polish it up and shine it and let it come to the surface. Because playing small isn't going to serve you. Holding back and wanting to stay miserable is not going to serve you. And you own your own joy. My acronym for joy is just own yours. It's nobody else's responsibility. What other people have done or what you've has happened to you that you think has stolen your joy, that's their problem. Your problem is to shine it up and let it shine bright, to bring it back to the surface. And if it starts with just one little bit of gratitude or one thing you can do for yourself, you can do it. Don't wait for somebody else to give you permission to be happy. Give yourself permission, regardless of your circumstances.
So great. You know, I've had, well, I chose to come do something fun and joyful every single day, the past almost 400 days. And I've, yeah, sometimes it's challenging to find some things. What are like 5 to 10 things that you do for joy? You-
I love people. So just dropping a note, encouraging somebody. And when they respond and say, wow, I needed that, that brings me joy. Kids, when I'm having a bad day, put me around kids, unfiltered kids. That really sparks my day. But you know what? Sometimes it's as simple as having a really nice piece of cake and doing what you shouldn't do if you're on a diet and just breaking the rules in a harmless way. I fill my life with glitter and sparkle. See my sparkle cup here?
Sorry.
Put things around you that sparkle. Absolutely. And and have shine around you. I love to be creative. By other people's standards, I'm not very good at it. By my standard, I'm great at it because I don't put a bar on it. So what comes out is beautiful. Find things that make you happy. sunshine. And this is a prescription. This is a medical fact that if you spend time in the sun, you will be happier. So there are an endless amount of things. The food you eat makes you happier. There are certain foods that elevate the serotonin levels in your body, those happy drugs that go into your brain, that will actually change your mood. Joy isn't just this little fluffy, like I said, glitter thing. Joy is something you choose intentionally and it physically has an effect on your body. There's a list from here to next week I could give you, but we don't have that long.
Yeah, so good. So good. Those are great. So anyone was like, I don't know, how do I do it? You just got some really awesome ones. And you can do a million variations on that theme. I'll just
Oh,
add,
and may I add one?
yeah.
Laughter.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
that when you smile and when you laugh, your brain doesn't know if you're faking it. So if you're feeling miserable, smile. It sends those happy drugs to your brain. It's the greatest natural high in the world. And laugh. Laughter seriously is the best medicine.
Yeah. You can do it by yourself or even better, share it with someone else. And I
Yeah.
have one too. This is something I have found. Pretty much anything you like to do as a child, especially that was low or no tech, um, it'll be fun. Climbing a tree, swinging the swings, playing games, running around barefoot, finger paint, coloring outside the lines, all those kid things,
Yeah.
doing having a pillow fight, all that stuff. Very fun. So brings you joy. Anything that brought you joy as a child still works.
And
So
I laugh because you say preferably low tech. I might be aging myself, but certainly when I was a child, there was no tech. So,
I know. I think video games might have started when I was little, but young.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, my fun was outdoors, um, just out with friends. All right. Well, this has been so great, and I know you have a couple special gifts that you have for our attendees. Can you please share what joyful offerings you have?
Do the first one is called the Joy Reset, and it's an outline of how you can go and step into elevating your joy. And if you have a team, you can bring more joy to your team by resetting daily, choosing gratitude. And it's a workbook. It has a couple of prompts that can keep you going, that can get you into choosing joy for yourself every day. You don't need a workbook for the rest of your life. You need to create this as part of your life and intentionally begin to choose joy. So that is our gift for those people who have come in as a basic attendee. And the VIP gift is about resilient leadership. And joy is a big part of that too. But putting a toolkit together, finding your way around being resilient. And guess what? I think a core of resilience is joy.
What a shock. But it's
I'm
so
not known
true.
as
It's so
I'm not known as the joy junkie for nothing.
I'm with you. And there's a 12-step program. I'm a joyaholic. So get it. And I don't need to be cured from that. So Nikki, thank you so much for sharing your truth, your energy, your joy with this conversation. You really remind us that joy isn't a luxury. It's not something for kids. It's not something that we'll get to eventually. It's something that we can tap into right now, and it is one of the most powerful forces that we have. When we own our value, when we stop dimming our light, when we don't just change our lives, we change and impact everyone around us. So to all of you watching, if you've been waiting for a sign to have more fun, be more joyful, own your brilliance and shine, if you thought you needed permission, permission granted, not that you needed it. This is it. If you needed a sign, Here it is. It's splashing. It's on a billboard. It's huge. Do it. Take advantage of Nikki's generous gifts to help you like spur you along. And definitely join us at the VIP level. We're having on September, we're gonna have meet together, and it will be very fun and joyful to be with this group of incredible women. And for only $97, you get all the recordings, that incredible gathering, plus just thousands of dollars worth of gifts from our speakers. So you definitely join us. So, Nikki, thank you again for being part of our summit, for sharing your smile and your joy. This has been definitely a gift.
Thank you so much. And I certainly look forward to meeting a lot of you on the VIP in person on that Zoom. So thank you so much, Monica.
Thank you. What an incredible conversation with Nikki Cruise, and what a reminder that joy isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you choose every single day, and when you do, miracles happen. If you'd like to go deeper with her work, Nikki offered two amazing gifts, and those are waiting for you. There's the Joy Reset Workbook, which is your daily guide to resetting your energy and choosing joy intentionally. And then there's the Resilient Leadership Toolkit, which are practical tools to help you lead with strength, grace, and gratitude. And both of those, plus over $4,000 more in VIP gifts, is waiting for you when you grab the full 7-figure lifestyle bundle for just $99 at tinyurl.com/VIP 7-figures. I'm Monique Hom. This was Getting Real, where we're exploring what true wealth and joy looks like when you stop hustling for your worth and start living from alignment. If you want more, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next week.